We started our bike ride at the top of the Billycock Hill, not far from the much photographed junction to Ledgerwood, where a major derailment occurred in the past.
We used to fly the Prime Minister around in those jets.
Really? Well, that'd be interesting.
Squadron leader, was it?
Essentially a wing commander.
Wing commander, of course.
Scott Whitlam Fraser.
So there we go. Not fast, but as you push the power mode up.
What's that button there? That's the eject button, is it?
That's the eject button.
Don't run over the paddy melons on the way down, or kidneys.
Looking good.
Very smart. Just take another one.
Thanks, Rod.
That's right, just check those. A couple of times.
This line was one of the first constructed with regulated curves, meaning there was no sudden transition between straight and curved sections of the line. Oh, right.
Imagination, or can I actually feel where the sleepers were?
No, they think they pulled them all up.
I'm sure they pulled them up. Oh, sorry.
You're right. Some of the clearing and earthworks was done by contract, as well as sleeper cutting, fencing and buildings. The rest was done by day labour. All big railway jobs are responsible for what is known as camps springing up into existence. Scottsdale businessmen have established branches on the spot, and almost anything from a needle to an anchor is obtainable. Boarding houses are the majority of the structures. Considering the engineering difficulties which had to be overcome, the work has been carried out very expeditiously. The distance from Scottsdale to Branksome by road is only 17 miles, but it takes the railway 24 miles to get there. The country it traverses is probably rougher than which any other government railway in Tasmania has to negotiate, and long detours have to be made to get a practical grade over the high ranges which lie between the terminal points. To a layman's eye, the engineering difficulties in the way appear insuperable, but they have all been successfully surmounted. One of the heaviest items of expense was getting rid of the enormous timber which grows over most of the country through which the line passes. Trees 8 or 9 feet in diameter, 10 feet from the ground, were not at all uncommon. Some of the work cost a great deal more than what was expected, and the granite country proved more difficult to deal with than had been anticipated. Taking these things into consideration, the fact that the work will be finished below the estimated cost is a remarkable achievement.
Still smiling.
Despite the rather hard life, the men employed had no complaints and were considered as to be a superior lot. The work has been heavy, for the country through which it runs is rough and mountainous. Mr Reynolds, the engineer in charge, has completed the work within the £6,000 per mile estimate, which is far cheaper than that from the Launceston to Scottsdale line, even though this country is much steeper. Somewhere along here you're supposed to be able to see the sea. Yeah. Well, actually the station here, look. Roger, stop here. Oi! This is where the shelter is. This is, I think this was the highest station in Tassie in its day. So you've come 5k.
5k. Oh, still alive, that's good.
Yeah, you've got a fair bit of vegetation, Stuart, in your bike. Yep. You seem to have collected a bit there.
Oh.
It was here, on Wednesday the 12th of July 1911, that the first train shuddered to a halt on its way to the official opening ceremony at Branxholme. It had been a long hard pull up towards the Kimona station, 1100 feet above sea level. There had been a severe frost that was still on the ground in the shaded cuttings. Meanwhile in Branxholme, over 1,000 people from the district were waiting for the train's arrival. At 12:55 the train pulled into the Branxholme station, over an hour late. The Governor of Tasmania, Sir Harry Barron, cut the ribbon to officially open the line. Cheers for His Excellency were given. Then a spectator cried, "And now for one for the men who put it through," a sentiment enthusiastically honoured. Every few chains of the journey opened up a fresh view. On the whole length of 24 miles there are only two small pieces of straight. The line is described as a snake in convulsion. You could certainly see the sea through there. From both Kimona and the Billycock, a splendid view of the harbour of Bridport and the open sea beyond can be obtained on a clear day. When there is no haze about, it is possible to see some of the islands in Bass Strait. I reckon the sound of the train coming up here with a full load on with a steam train, it'd be just amazing. The echoes you get through this valley. That's what we should have done. We should have had a little portable speaker and had a recording of a steam train. Hey, where's the train, Roger? You better get off the line. Here we go. Coming up the hill, into the Kimona station. Bit of wheel slippage there.
Got some gravel to put on the rail.
That should be compulsory for every bike rider, just to remind them what they owe to the rail tradition. Yes. We're just about to go downhill now, I think. Oh.
Well, there's plenty of train noise on Google.
Imagine having to blast this rock in the old days. God.
I wonder how many people they lost.
Had to change the battery in the camera. On Tuesday afternoon last, just before knock-off time, a sad accident occurred about 9 miles from Scottsdale in Quinn's gang, by which a man named Bissett and a boy named Quinn suffered the most severe injuries. One plug from the previous charge had evidently not exploded, and with a violent concussion it went off while both men were over the spot. Had a few technical problems.
Oh, did you?
Bloody hell, cameras, I don't know.
We were just about to turn around and come back.
Find
a shovel and bury it.
Okay, off you go. Your stand's down on the back.
Second card, third card lucky. Reading that. Just reading that. The derailments.
Oh yeah.
I must have had a bull ant up my leg.
Oh right.
Oh, you did?
Bit ya, did it?
Oh, Jed did.
Oh.
I took my trousers off but I couldn't find it.
If you had a bull ant up your leg, you should have been bloody 10 miles in front of us.
I tell you what, I don't reckon many people will be riding this trail in winter.
I don't think many people ride this fast through. Someone come along and cut the ferns back.
Yeah, well, Rotary have to do that. Yeah, they maintain it. Well, this was all done by Rotary. Well, this wasn't a council project. This is the first railway in Tasmania, or perhaps in Australia, to be built through mountainous granite country. The solid rock has proven extremely hard to drill and resistant to blasting material. All along the spur there are enormous granite rocks and outcrops, many of which have to be cut through, while huge boulders have had to be dislodged from above to prevent the danger of their falling upon the rails. Along the line from Forester to Maryvale there are very deep gullies which have had to be filled in with embankments, and the cutting through of abrupt granite rises and the filling in of deep gorges has been a work of the most laborious character.
I see those gullies are steep.
Yeah.
4 surveyors.
Well, we're still pretty high. So what gear have you got it in now?
Oh, just getting in 3. Not doing anything.
Horses are used to pull truckloads of rock and earth from out the cuttings. The loss of the steamship Maori is to be regretted, as it held all the fencing material ordered from England. Just in time. We could have got collected by a log truck.
I could have done.
I'll jump on the back on the way through.
Ah well, this is where the advantage will start to show.
We're going up the hill from now on.
Uphill from now on.
Okay.
Oh! Alright?
Yeah, I'm
Jeez. It's alright. Grab your box. Alright.
You're okay.
Ooh, that was a bit nasty. What's come off? Uh-huh.
charge it, George.
How'd you go?
Yeah, good.
I had 1 friend.
Did you?
Yeah, he's beat up or something. He'll be up and about in no time.
Oh, right. He'll be up.
I
That's the way to go.
came across on that little narrow bridge.